You try and lose some belly fat, and it's like everything you trying don't seem to be working. You know, you tried this diet, you tried the cardio, and it's like, damn, what do I got to do to get rid of that stomach, right? Especially like the lower gut. What do you got to do? I'm gonna share with you how to get rid of that belly fat that you don't want there, once and for all. And it's probably not what you're expecting. Okay, it's probably not what you're expecting. And but that's how it go, right? Usually, if when we have something that we're struggling with, right, and it's something we just can't seem to figure out, it's because we don't know what the actual problem is. We think the problem is one thing when the problem is actually something else. Honestly, this gets a little deeper than most people expect. For one, it's always so. First, what I'll say is this: we don't want to be in disagreement with our bodies. Okay, we don't want to be in disagreement with our bodies. And what happens is this: we're trying to lose weight. We be focused on losing weight and losing weight. We got to lose this belly. We got to lose this weight. We got to lose this gut. And the reality is this: your body doesn't want to be less. It doesn't want to be less of itself. Your body wants to be more. We want to be more. Okay? We're not here to be less of ourselves. We're here to be more of ourselves. So when we switch the perspective to, as opposed to I got to get rid of this gut, I got to get rid of this belly. Instead, if we approach it like, I want to become more of this new version of myself, right? The version of yourself that doesn't have the gut. Okay, as we become more of this version of ourselves, then there's no more room for the gut. How can we become more of this self, more of this version of yourself that doesn't have the gut? We gotta let go of the past. We gotta let go of old shit. What I can tell you is this: we have three brains in our body, right? As far as having a concentration of neurons, we have hundreds of millions of neurons concentrated in our gut. We got tens of thousands of neurons concentrated in our heart. And we have billions and billions of neurons concentrated in what we traditionally know as the brain. But technically we have three brains if we were to define it as a concentration of neurons. Okay? And in this concentration of neurons, there's different information there. There's information stored in our gut that's not stored in our head. And we have information that's stored in our head that's in our heart that's not necessarily stored in our head or stored in our gut. Like, they have their own information. And the thing is this: 80% of that information travels upward and not downward. Why does this matter? Why am I bringing this up? When we experience something that threatens our livelihood, right? That information is always going to be stored in our gut. That's why we be like, yo, I got a funny feeling in my gut about this. This is usually during, like, that's your instinct, and that's a lot of times that's a life or death situation, right? Or close to it. Anything that's threatening your livelihood, right? And even when you think of, like, we eat food, it goes to our gut, and when we reproduce, we're using our genitalia. It's all in that whole area down there, right? And a lot of times we deal with experiences that threaten our livelihood, or maybe sexual abuse or something. I'm not trying to make this too serious, but what I can tell you is this: when we let go of that information, and part of letting that information go is allowing it to travel. So, like, in your brain, you're not even realizing how that event is affecting you because you're not allowing that information to travel. Like, we don't want to think about it. We don't want to be conscious of it. Our brain, we so advanced with our brain, sometimes we'll literally make ourselves forget. Well, you genuinely don't remember some trauma that happened to you, right? In some extreme cases. But I say all that to say, you have to let go of whatever that is. It's something you're holding on to. Like, isn't it ironic? Like, the more weight we hold on to emotionally, we tend to carry that with us physically as well. So when you let that go to step into more of who you are today, the gut vanishes. And I know you probably was expecting to hear about some calories or protein. No, there's how many more ways can we tell you to track your calories and be in a calorie deficit? How many more ways can we tell you to adjust your macros, right? Like, now what I can tell you is this though. I will give you something a little bit more, I guess, practical and tangible, outside of the deep, emotional, spiritual stuff. And now they did a study with a group of people in Rome. They took these two groups. I think it was two groups, or was it three groups? They took these two groups of people. They did this study in Rome back in like 2017. And they had one group do strength training with just their arms, right? So they'll do like some bicep curls and maybe like some tricep extensions or something. And then, so they'll do like, I don't know, like 12, 20 sets of that. And then immediately they'll have them do some light cardio on a bike. And they did it for just 20 minutes. They had another group only do legs. So they do like leg extensions and hamstring curls, 12 to 20 sets of that or something like that. And then immediately have them get on the bike, low intensity cardio for about 20 minutes. Lo and behold, the group that did just the arm stuff burned more fat in the arms. And the group that did just the leg stuff burned more fat in the legs. We're taught that we can't spot reduce fat, but that study indicates that perhaps we can. And the thing is, when it comes to and just think about it, when it comes to getting rid of weight in the gut, in the arms, it's easier to use it in your arms and the legs because we walk on our legs, right? It's easy to do all this with your arms. We don't really do too much with our gut just throughout the day. When we exercise our abdominals and our obliques, 9 times out of 10, we have to do it on purpose. We're not just doing it just to live throughout the day, unless you have like that type of job or something where you are always having to engage your core or something. But the average person, we just sitting at a desk or something like that. And that's what can make that area a little bit more difficult to come off. But so what I say is this: the hypothesis or the theory is the following. Do some abdominal strength training, right? Like some leg lifts or some slow and controlled crunches, right? And then do 12 to 20 sets of that, whatever your strength training protocol would be for your abs. I'm not going to give an exact workout, but some strength hypertrophy training for the abdominal area, the core area, right? Probably best to attack the whole core, the obliques, the back, all that, the lower back, all that. And then go immediately into some low intensity cardio, whether it's walking, whether it's a bike, elliptical, treadmill, just low intensity for a minimum of 20 minutes. Maybe longer is better. Perhaps you will start to spot reduce fat in that area. I'm not claiming that to be a fact, but I think it stands to reason based off of that study that they did in Rome back in 2017. Okay? And the mechanisms could be when you strength train in a certain area, blood concentrates in that area. And then when you switch then when you do some low intensity cardio, your body precisely goes to fat for fuel for that. And maybe it goes to where the blood is concentrated at to pull fat from first, would be the theory as to how burning fat from a particular area could be possible. Okay? But what's going to be more important than that is what I said earlier. Don't focus on just trying to be less of yourself or try to lose this weight. Let go of the past and step more into who you are today, and everything else will fall into place. Okay? I hope this helps somebody out there. Check you on the next one. Peace.